A few years ago, maybe 15, 18 years ago, I met a person who's also a chartered accountant and who was living his life in non-Mumbai. He was in Pune. And he actually had questions which I can't even believe. He said, what is the need for saving? And you don't expect to hear this from a qualified chartered accountant who you presume understands the value of money. So I said, you will have to provide for retirement. And he was almost scoffing at the idea. He's saying, how long we are going to live? How much do we need? My father had nothing for retirement. But one thing which I asked him, which stunned him, is I said, your father had a pension and he lived till the age of 93. How long do you think you will be in retirement? So he was very confident that he was not having that kind of a lifestyle, so he will die at 65. So retire at 60, die at 65 was his plan, which was great. But he had no clue how to invest or what to do. And I said, even 5 years into retirement, how will you meet your day-to-day expenses, because you're saving nothing? And then I took him through the basics and said, why you need to do this? And I was quite surprised, because he was already a qualified person and you had to understand returns and real returns and things like that. But believe me, it was not so easy trying to tell him, because 20 years ago there were not enough mutual funds available. I mean, it was there, but it was still an infant industry. We are talking of the year 2000, because that is when the more advisors came into play, or the qualifications became necessary. I think 2001 or 2002, and all those things had happened. And this was a time when there was not much awareness of people understanding compounding and things like that. So which meant a lot of money went into direct equities, and people really lost a lot of money also. And he also had a standard of living which was befitting a chartered accountant. That's what people say, Arey, I am a doctor, I must have a bigger car. I am a chartered accountant, how can I drive such a small car? Or how can I stay in this locality? Or how can I buy a 1 BHK? I have to buy at least a 2 BHK, right? So what I'm trying to tell you through this video is, please understand that your investment should produce investments. So so you need to buy things which will create more wealth, and that wealth will create even more wealth. So the power of compounding, for it to take over, you have to at least buy those assets, right? So let us say you don't understand anything about equity markets, but you understand real estate. So you have bought a house which is a spare house and given it on rent. Fantastic. Now you have to use that rent cash flow to buy another house or something like that, so that you can get more rent, right? So you can create a rental portfolio. I am not now getting into whether it is yield, whether it is whether stocks are better, whether equity shares are better than real estate. I'm not getting into anything, but you have to buy those assets which create a cash flow which allows you to buy more assets. So I am little anti-gold, because it's not going to put any cash in your pocket for a very long period of time till you actually sell it, right? And of course you can sell it partially. That is one huge advantage. So you have to buy assets which will create cash flow, which will create more assets, which will set you free. So you buy things which allows you to create cash flow, which is useful to create a corpus for your retirement. So whether it is real estate, whether it is a direct equity, whether it is mutual funds, I'm not getting into it. In case of mutual funds, you need not reinvest, because sorry, you can always go for a growth option, which means the money will be available to you. It's always available to you. You can withdraw, but you are saying, I will pay tax only on withdrawal, and that withdrawal could be 30 years away or 40 years away. So I have deferred my tax for a pretty long period of time, and I can do the same thing with debt funds instead of keeping money in a bank fixed deposit. But remember, bank fixed deposit and mutual funds, even any scheme, is not exactly comparable, simply because your value will keep fluctuating, right? But because the value is fluctuating, it doesn't mean there is no value. So keep buying things which will produce more of some cash flow for you, which will allow you to buy more assets, and that's it. Life is as simple as that. And one thing which I found with this person is he had no investment. So I suggested only two things. I said things which will produce cash flow are direct equity and real estate. That was not a time when I would talk much about mutual funds, because mutual fund industry was still maturing. The foreign funds had come in only in 93 or 95, and there was not enough awareness. So I said there are only two asset classes which give you a real return. One is equity, which you could enter either directly or you could enter through a mutual fund in a growth option, and real estate. The other asset classes don't put cash in your hand, so to me it doesn't make sense to buy gold, etc. Maybe as a hedge you buy some gold and keep it on the side, but not really as a great investment option, right? So after having this discussion, he still was not convinced that his retirement would be a problem. Now recently he has lost his job. He is about 40, no, he must be about 51, 52. And he tells me that he needs a job desperately because he doesn't have enough money for retirement, and nowhere near enough money. He had sent me his portfolio. He has about 1 crore, and his estimate, I have not even asked him about it, his estimate is about 4 crores is what he needs. So in his 50s, he is willing to call up people much junior to him looking for a job. Why does this helplessness happen? Simply because you bought things which do not create cash flow. It's nice to buy a nice 30 lakh rupee bike and maybe 5 lakhs worth of accessories to go with the bike. You can't buy a 30 lakh rupee bike and not buy any of the helmet, the leather jacket, the branded keychain, right? You need to show off, or whatever it is worth. Those kind of assets don't really put money in your bank account. So which are the assets which put money in your bank account? Any investment which puts money in your bank account has to be equity. It has to be either direct equity or equity mutual funds, and maybe the growth option. So there is no cash flow being generated, given to you, and taxed inefficiently. So buy things which create cash flow that will set you free. Thank you.